Boosting an amp, what is that? Everybody talks about it these days. Well, it's a term that people have started to use to basically describe, as I see it, when you've got an amp set crunchy or dirty, and now you want to send it over the top with more sustain, more grind, more harmonics, and all that good stuff using a pedal. So, of course, there's 40 million different types of pedals on the market that you can do this with. And it can be confusing to know which one might be right for you. So I thought I would make a video of 5 different pedals from my collection and sort of showcase them boosting the front end of my guitar amp. Having said that there's so many different types of pedals on the market, there is kind of blanket categories. For instance, Ibanez tube screamers and all the variants of a tube screamer made by tons of companies. Treble boosters. Clean boosts would be another one. So I picked 5 different pedals, all different types from my collection. And the goal of this video is basically like, I thought maybe somebody might watch it and say like, oh, I never would have thought that a mid boost would give me the tone that I was hearing in my head, that sort of thing. So maybe you'll hear something in this video you dig, and it'll help you to make a decision on a pedal either now or down the road in the future when you're looking for one. So let's get to it. So the amp I'm using in this video is my Sur SL68. It's a Marshall 68 plexi style amplifier. Got it set on, I think, 5 on the normal channel, so it's just crunching up a little bit like Jimmy Page style kind of grind. I find that non-master volume amps, not just plexis, but like, old Fenders and Voxes and things, they really show off the difference between both guitars, pickups, and pedals as well. It's just like, for some reason, they're more sort of vastly different and sensitive to whatever you're putting into them, I find. So I thought it was a good choice for today to really showcase these different types of pedals. All right, first up, Treble Booster. You heard it at the beginning of the video and you're going to hear it again now, but it deserves to be heard twice because it's the granddaddy of all boost effects and it's super cool. I've got my 65 color boost here. Original Treble Boosters were, I think the Dallas Rangemaster was the original one that came out first in the 60s. I could be wrong about that. Maybe something preceded it. But anyway, that was the most popular one. And you had people like Tony Iommi, Brian May, Rory Gallagher, and Judas Priest, all these bands utilizing the treble boost to kick the front end of the ramp into searing molten sustain and overdrive. So here's the sound without the pedal. Okay, turning on the 65 color boost. Just sounds great to me. It sounds a lot like this. I'm not sure exactly how that solo goes, but it's something like that. Really has that character, right? And the thing that I think is interesting about it is that Brian May, everybody talks about the red special guitar and the AC30s. The least talked about thing is the treble booster, and yet that sounds a lot like it to me. And the treble boost maybe should be considered as a more important component in the tone than many people consider it to be. Like if I play that lick without the color boost, Next up, this yellow pedal right here. It's the Boss Super Overdrive SD1, a classic from the 80s. People used to buy these in the 80s and the 90s to send their Marshall amps over the top into ridiculous molten meltdown tone, and it sounds just great. Now, the version I have here is the Wazacraft edition, which has an added custom mode that basically gives you more low end. More on that in just a second, but I mainly want to focus on the classic mode. So, of course, this is going to add overdrive to the sound because it's an overdrive, so you're getting some degree of, distortion characteristics from the pedal, not just boost. So, all right, let's check out the tone without the pedal first. Adding the SD1W. obviously it's doing a ton, right? It sounds just great. It's got that, when I was holding that D chord, I love like the harmonics and the sort of searing character of the pedal. It sounds like kind of like 80s rock, but hey, you can take a kid out of the 80s, but you can't take the 80s out of the kid, right? So it sounds really great to me. Now, an interesting thing about the custom mode is that when I turn it on, you're going to notice more low end. But to me, it actually gets a little sloppy and kind of takes away from the character of the pedal. These pedals were famous for lopping off low end, much like their cousin, the Tube Screamer. You know, they do attenuate some bass, but when you're adding distortion and boost to the signal, attenuating bass is what helps keep the tone real tight and stringy. So... So I do dig kind of the classic tone, classic circuit, you know, for boosting the front end of an already dirty amp. The fatter sound could work maybe if I was using a little less gain on the amplifier, or if I just wanted to go for that tone, if I wasn't going for that super tight thing. Could be just a ticket. But anyway, good thing to note about the ST1W and about overdrives in general. Sometimes lopping off bass is a good thing, especially when your amp is already dirty. Next up, a classic, the original Way Huge Green Rhino. I've had this pedal since the early 90s. Oh my god, a long, long time. And it's of the TS-808 or Tube Screamer variety. And it's really interesting to play this pedal right after playing the Boss Super Overdrive. They're not dissimilar, but it's got its own thing going on. It's a little bit different sounding. So here's the sound without the pedal. Turning on the Green Rhino, got the level cranked and the gain on about 11 o'clock. Just sounds really, really great to me right now. I forgot how good this pedal sounds. So I'm on the bridge pickup, obviously. These pedals do a characteristic thing. They've got kind of a soft sound on the neck pickup, I find, especially when you play up above the 12th fret. So it's like this. Almost like a compression type effect going on. Like if I turn the pedal off. Like the attack gets really soft. And it's kind of a cool thing. It's a thing that's, you know, it's not right for everything, but it sounds really good to me right now. Next up, a pedal that descends from the mythical Klon circuit. Yes, it's the Bondi Sick-As. This pedal's been on my pedal board for like 5 years now, and I love it. It's been my main lead boost on my touring pedal board for ages, so that's an endorsement. So I love Klon style pedals. There's something about the thickening of the mids that they do while adding a cool kind of slight bit of overdrive of their own and boosting that just really works for me. They sound like a part of the amp, almost like they bond with the amplifier in a really cool way. And they thicken mids, but not in the same way a TS9 or 808 circuit does. It sounds more boutique to me. It sounds more expensive. I don't know what it is, but it's just cool. Anyway, here's the sound without the pedal. I'm turning on the pedal. Oops. Just sounds really, really great to me. Yeah, I don't know. I'm pretty sold on Klons personally for my main lead boost. Klon style pedals. All right, next up, last but certainly not least, it's the Sur Cocoa Boost. Really, really killer pedal that I've had on my pedal board for quite some time, and it's also another completely different kind of pedal than anything we've heard so far. This is a clean boost and mid-range boost in one pedal. So it serves so many great purposes that I've had it on my board for quite some time now because I just really dig the way it sounds. Clean boost, harkens back to like the old MXR micro amp, that style of pedal. Basically just clean gain, not adding any overdrive of its own. What it's doing is saturating the front end of your amp with level so that the preamp of your amp will clip sooner. So let's hear the clean boost side of the Cocoa first. This is the sound without the pedal. Okay, turning on the Cocoa Boost. Okay, sounds really, really cool. If I turn it up about 3/4 of the way up, it sounds cool, but you can hear the sound start to collapse a little bit because you're actually boosting all the frequencies into the front of the amp. And sometimes when you push a bunch of bass into the front end of an amp, it can, you know, tend to flub up a little bit. So that's where the mid boost comes in handy. I'm going to turn the gain, the boost down to about halfway again because this is still active when I turn on the mid boost. Now I'll turn on the mid boost. It's a much more targeted mid-range frequency. So let me just toggle between them. Really, really great sounding for a lead boost. Not dissimilar to the treble boost in some ways, but it's more modern sounding. It's more full frequency than, say, a treble booster, which sounds more nasal and sort of more got that, just that real targeted frequency range. Whereas this is a little bit more subtle in its character, but you know, it sounds really, really cool to me. There you have it, 5 completely different pedals, 5 completely different tones, all different, all valid. Some people are going to like some more than others. I hope this video helps you achieve tonal nirvana, the singing, sustain, and searing overdrive characteristics that you so desperately crave. All right, I'll stop. Hey, I'm going to make more videos in this Tone Secret series real soon as I can get to them. If you want, send me an email at facebook.com/guitarnerd. Send me a Facebook message there on my Facebook music page. I'll check out your ideas and maybe I can make a video for this Tone Secret series. All right, hey, have a great day. I'm Pete Thorn. Over and out.